Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing some more shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, because in today's video, guys, there's a longer-term pattern that I have neglected to show you so far. It's one that's pretty important and is likely going to be resulting in a breakout on Bitcoin here in the next 48 to 72 hours or so. This is a pretty big pattern, and in fact, is one that showcases a lot of the trading tips that I try to teach you guys here on the channel. So I'm hoping I can pack a lot of information into this video and give you guys a lot of value. We're going to be showing you what this pattern is. I'm going to be showing you how you can go about trading it to make sure you're profitable and safe in both breakout scenarios. We're going to be talking about which direction Bitcoin's likely going to break out, and then we'll wrap the video out with some longer-term technicals and fundamentals. So guys, if you do enjoy today's video, I would humbly ask you to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel when you do that, and I would be very appreciative if you did. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and dive on into this. As you guys know, we did have this pattern drawn up here a couple of weeks ago. Bitcoin was very clearly in a bull flag following this major rally that we saw back on the 25th of October. Unfortunately, though, Bitcoin did actually break to the downside. It did not break bullish. And from there, not a whole lot has actually been happening to Bitcoin. We've been in a relatively boring stage of the market for the last 3 weeks or so. But I think that's about to be coming to a conclusion. As you guys will probably know by now, there is a big pattern on the chart where you can draw this downtrend right here, extend it out, and then make it match the rest of the chart. And then you can take a blue trend line, because we're not heathens, we use color coding, and draw a downtrend of support right here. And what you're left with is a falling wedge, a pretty long one at that. As you guys can see, this starts back over here on the 25th when Bitcoin had its big old breakout, its 45% rally, following President Xi Jinping's comments on blockchain. From there, we've been trending to the downside. And guys, this is a really important pattern because it's something like a bull flag. Actually, it's not a flag, but it is a bullish continuation pattern. If you guys will remember back to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, which many of you have been through by now, link down below, you will know that patterns like this tend to be continuation patterns. In fact, there's about a 60 to 70% chance that Bitcoin will actually break bullish out of a pattern like this. And that's really important because the breakout is more than likely going to be coming relatively soon. Now, you guys might be wondering why I didn't show you this earlier. Well, there was a reason for that. It was because I had a feeling that Bitcoin was going to have to move all the way through this consolidation pattern, this wedge pattern, before we actually saw a breakout. And the reason for that was because Bitcoin has very low volume, has very low volatility, and quite frankly, there's not very much interest in Bitcoin right now, so we're not seeing a lot of movement. Because of that, in situations like that, typically the market will move much closer to the apex point of a consolidation pattern before it actually has its breakout. So if we were expecting the apex point or the point of contact between these two trend lines to be somewhere around here, then we should expect that the market would have the breakout about 70% of the way through that pattern, so we should have expected the breakout back here. That didn't happen. Bitcoin has been very, very unvolatile lately. So it's not really surprising that we haven't had a breakout just yet. But now that these two trend lines are converging so quickly, and they do look like they're going to be crossing relatively soon, Bitcoin is getting into a very narrow region. And what that means is that tension is starting to build, guys. Tension is starting to build in the market. And eventually, one of these trend lines is going to be broken. It could be broken dramatically and see a major rally on Bitcoin, or it could be relatively minor like what we saw over here when Bitcoin broke bearish on the 8th. Nevertheless, a breakout is more than likely going to come relatively soon. It is possible that Bitcoin does this whole trading sideways thing out of this consolidation pattern because the interest in the volatility is so low, but I doubt that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a breakout coming from this, and I think it's going to be relatively sizable. I'm not expecting a 45% move, but I could definitely see something like a 5 to 10% move. Now, guys, before I dive into which direction this is going to break out, because I do have some idea of what this is going to play out as, I first want to talk about why I love patterns like this so much. The reason I do is because they're very easy to trade. I mean, extremely easy to trade. If you are newer to the space, these are the trades you need to be making. These are the trades you need to be playing. If you are newer to the space or not newer to the space, no matter what age, however long ago you were born into the cryptocurrency market, you need to be trading this, even if it's just on paper, for learning. Reason being, because this is a very easy trade to make. Guys, Bitcoin's either going to break bullish or it's going to break bearish. It's probably not going to trade sideways, although it might. And if it does, then you just close your trade with no profit, no loss, really. But breakout trades at the end of consolidation patterns are some of the best trades to make. The reason for that, like I said, is because there's a big breakout coming, and it's very easy to figure out where your stop loss is. Guys, we're going to be talking about this more at the end of the video, but over in the first cohort, which we have launched and put about 8 videos in here so far, these are very high quality videos that I think you guys are going to love. The link for this is down below if you're interested in more CT2A style content. and a private chat group, and private live streams. Wow, I'm just packing everything into this, huh? But nevertheless, in the first cohort over here, in this video, what to do before every trade, I go through a lot of things that you need to do before every trade. I'm not talking about the basics of like, oh, figure out where your stop loss is. I mean, that's important. We have a whole video on stop losses for people that aren't aware of just how important they are. But we go over everything. And it's very easy to run down that checklist that I have assembled over there in a situation like this. Reason being, it's very easy to figure out where your entry is. It's going to be somewhere right around here, guys. It's probably going to be around $8,400 to $8,300. Pretty easy to figure out where the entry is. So then it's pretty easy to figure out where your stop loss should be. Guys, the stop loss should be below this downtrend of support. That's why it's blue. It's support. It's a good thing. You want your stop loss to be below that downtrending level of support. And if Bitcoin starts to break below that, and you give yourself enough margin for false breakouts, then it's pretty easy to set a tight stop loss. In this case, you might be able to set at most a 3% stop loss. But then on the flip side, what you have is a very high potential for price targets. I mean, you could honestly set a price target all the way up here at $11,000. I mean, you could set this thing anywhere. You could bring out some of our moving averages that we'll be discussing later and set it at one of those. The price target is going to be much higher than where the stop loss is. And what that means is that if you look at our trading planner down here, it means you're going to have a very high risk to reward ratio. That's why these trades are so good. It's not like a 1 or 2 risk to reward. It's more like a 3, 4, 5, 6 risk to reward. I just hit my microphone. Coffee break. Anyway, guys, so that's why this trade is very good to make. But next, there's something I also want you to understand about trades like this, and that is that it's very easy to flip them. That's another reason why I love them so much, is because if you get your stop loss triggered, then guess what? What you could actually do here is have your entry right here, you have your stop loss right here, you have your price target up here wherever, and then if you hit your stop loss, you just consider this the new entry for this trade, and you flip it from a long position to a short position. Long up here, short down here. You hit your stop loss, and then you use that not only to get out of your trade, but actually to flip your trade into a short position. Because if you're hitting your stop loss, then that means you're getting confirmation of a bearish breakout. And then if you're getting confirmation of a bearish breakout, that should be confirmation that you should be go shorting. Potentially. If you have your stop loss set up properly, then that's what that should be. So you can use that as an entry. That's why I love these so much. I know I've said it several times. I'll stop now, I promise. But nevertheless, guys, even without technical analysis, this is a good trade to make just because more often than not, Bitcoin is going to break to the upside. But, of course, as you know, it's a cardinal sin to trade based off of only one indicator. You want to have more than one reason to be making a trade. And a couple of the reasons why I would say this is a good trade would have to do with the MACD and the RSI. Now, there's not much down here on the hourly chart that we need to see. You need to understand the importance of time frame interpretation. The 1 hourly chart is not going to be very important here because this is a 3-week-old move. I want to move out to the 4 hourly. And if we look out to the 4 hourly, we start getting interesting news. As you guys can see, the MACD on the 4 hourly chart is actually converging bearish and is probably about to have a bearish cross on itself. That's a bad thing, right? That's going to say that Bitcoin's probably going to break to the downside. Not so fast. The reason that's not necessarily the case, nor is it necessarily what's most important, is because the 4 hourly is still a relatively zoomed in time frame for this move that we're looking at. The daily chart's where we really want to be looking. And we'll get to it in a second, but there's important stuff down here. It makes sense that the MACD is going to be converging bearish on itself, guys. Over the last 20 hours, the last 5 4-hourly candlesticks, Bitcoin has been trending to the downside. But that doesn't mean that we're going to have a breakout, guys. Bitcoin bounces around inside its consolidation pattern. So what's important to me is not the direction of these two lines, the MACD line, the signal line. What's more important to me is where those two lines are in relation to the 0 level over here. If you guys don't realize this, you can actually read MACD similarly to how you can read the RSI. We are below the 0 level, which means that if Bitcoin does break to the upside here, there's a lot of room for this MACD to run to the upside. It means you're getting a good buy-in opportunity. It means you're getting a good deal. As you can see over here, this is exactly what happened. MACD was very, very oversold over here back before this big breakout. And because of that, there was even more room for that MACD to run to the upside before it got just ridiculously blow off top overbought. So even though MACD is converging bearish on itself, that might be a bad thing for the next couple of hours. I don't think it's going to cause a bearish breakout, though. In fact, quite the opposite. I think it gives us more room to run to the upside. Same thing is true for the RSI. As you can see, the RSI on the 4-hourly chart is very low. We're looking at about a 35. What that means is that Bitcoin is oversold. And one of the things you want to do when you're trading is make sure you're getting a good deal. In the first cohort in this video over here, what to do before every trade, we talk about this. I show you guys the importance of making sure you're getting a good deal. Think about it like this. Are you getting a good deal buying Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin right now? Well, look at the RSI. Is Bitcoin oversold or is Bitcoin overbought? If you short Bitcoin right now, there's not much room for this RSI to move to the downside. But on the other hand, if you buy or long Bitcoin right now, there's a lot of room for the RSI to move to the upside. Same thing with the MACD. You're getting a better deal longing Bitcoin than you are shorting Bitcoin right now because Bitcoin's already been moving to the downside for the last 3 months. Last 3 weeks, excuse me. But guys, if we zoom out to the daily chart, we see a lot of the same. Bitcoin has been trending downward for 20 days or so. And something interesting shows up on the MACD here as well. MACD is below the 0 zero level, which is great. But the thing that's also really cool about the MACD right now is that the MACD is starting to converge bullish on itself while Bitcoin is trending downwards. That's something you don't see a lot, because normally if the MACD is going to be converging bullish on itself, you'd think the market would be moving to the upside. Not the case right now. In fact, 4 out of the last 6 days on Bitcoin have been red, but still Bitcoin is starting to converge bullish on itself over these last 2 days. And what that means is that because Bitcoin is below the zero level on its MACD, and because we may be about to see a bullish breakout, if we see that breakout, there's going to be room and there's going to be reason for MACD to cross bullish and start heading to the upside, which will strengthen any bullish breakout that we do have. And also, to wrap it out, the same thing is true here on the RSI. The RSI is oversold. It's getting even more oversold. And that means you're getting a good deal on the long side of a trade rather than the short side of a trade. And guys, a piece of wisdom that I picked up in my years of trading cryptocurrency at this point is that it doesn't even really matter which direction a breakout happens, because a professional trader should be prepared for both the bullish and the bearish side. That's why I talked about how to trade this before I talked about which direction this was probably going to break out, because quite frankly, knowing how to trade is more important than knowing which direction the market's going to go. Anyone can place a long position when they know the market's going to move to the upside. But a professional trader, a trader that actually is serious about the market, is going to be able to be profitable in the long and the short, and they're going to be prepared for both scenarios. And guys, I want to make sure you realize this is not all fine and dandy on Bitcoin. There are bearish technicals right now. For example, the 100 just crossed below the 200 daily simple moving average. Not really a great sign. Bitcoin's below its 50. Bitcoin is below the 200 DEMA. Bitcoin has broken quite a bit of support, and that could drive Bitcoin further down. I think Bitcoin's going to break bullish out of this, but it is also very possible that Bitcoin breaks to the downside, comes down to very strong support at 8,000, which we'll talk about in a second, and bounces there. Either one of these scenarios are likely, and I'm betting on one of the two of them playing out. To wrap the technical analysis out here, guys, before I get to the message here at the end of the video, is this. Bitcoin is likely to be headed to the upside a week from today. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to be heading upwards today. It is very possible that Bitcoin breaks bearish out of this pattern, comes down to $8,000 and rallies. Very possible. I want to make sure that's understood. But with that said, I do not see Bitcoin going below $8,000. Here's why. Bitcoin has been bearish for the last 3 weeks. If you guys are in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, then you will have seen the video on gauging the strength of the bulls and the bears. It's a very important video. Over the last 3 weeks, we can gauge the strength of the bulls and the bears. Bitcoin had a bearish breakout right here, and it didn't fall very far. Bitcoin fell like 4 or 5% here. The reason that's important is because on breakouts, you can discern who's stronger, the bulls or the bears. In this case, the bears are not very strong. Why? Because they haven't pushed Bitcoin down to $8,000 yet. What is taking them so long? The reason it's taking them so long is because even though they're stronger than the bulls right now, yes, the bears are the stronger faction. That is undisputed. They are not that much stronger. The bulls are not that much weaker. And what that means is that if Bitcoin breaks bullish out here, great, the bulls are going to be in power now. On the flip side, if Bitcoin breaks to the downside here and moves to $8,000, great, that's more than likely going to be a bearish capitulation and it's going to exhaust them, and the bulls will get a nice bounce at 8K. That's why I'm bullish right now. Why is $8,000 so important though, guys? Here's why. Boom. VPVR. Check this out. As you guys will know from CT2A as well, the video on convergence of support and resistance. It's very important when levels of support and resistance come together. And one of the places that is happening right now is around $8,000. We have a lot of support built up in this region over here and in this region over here, and they converge in the level of 8K, which is also a big even, by the way. Furthermore, it's also a Fibonacci level. As we can see if we drag this out, it's the 78.6% Fibonacci level right here. If Bitcoin breaks to the downside, it will probably go to $8,000 and hold there. If Bitcoin breaks to the upside, well, Bitcoin broke to the upside. I'm bullish on Bitcoin right now, and I think I have every right to be. There are bearish technicals on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks below $8,000, that's where a theoretical stop loss needs to be. I will be bearish if we break below that. But for as long as we're holding above 8 grand, I am looking forward to the next couple of months on Bitcoin. We've set a low at $7,200. Let's see if we can hold it. But guys, to wrap the video out here, I want to start putting more kind of life lessons and wisdom into these videos, because I have a lot to say that I don't say in these videos, because I think you guys are more focused on the TA. But based on the reception of yesterday's video, which, by the way, let me just say, I'm very thankful for. I think you guys do want to hear more of the wisdom that I've garnered here in the last couple of years that I've been working in cryptocurrency markets and business. And one of the things that I've learned to be more important than anything, in fact, there's 2 of them, and I like putting them together because they work so well together. It's patience and it's humility. And there's so many people that have neither. They think that they are a hot shot because they made a couple grand trading Bitcoin, and they want to be rich now. They want to buy their Lamborghini now. They want to have their fun now. They want to own their yacht now. They want it now, 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 now. Here's the thing, guys. Working in cryptocurrency markets, working in business, working in the real world is not about now. It's about 10 years from now. It's about 20 years from now. It's about your retirement. It's about when your kid goes to college, can you pay for that? It's about taking care of that kid and being able to put food on the table for him. It's not about now. Now is irrelevant. Tomorrow is what matters. Patience is important and humility is king. If you glorify yourself, you will be humbled. But I promise you, if you humble yourself, you will be glorified. Why am I saying all this? The reason is simple. People are very, very, very tired of Bitcoin trending to the downside. People are very tired of waiting for Bitcoin going back to all-time high. It was nearly 2 years ago that Bitcoin hit all-time high, and we're still not there yet. What are we waiting on? Everybody has no patience. Guys, are you in the market for today? Are you in the market for tomorrow? Or are you in the market for a lifetime? Are you trying to get rich overnight? Because if you are, let me tell you something. It's not going to happen in cryptocurrency more than likely. There's a high ceiling to how much money you can make, but it's going to take time. It's going to be difficult. I waited 2 years to be able to do this, talking into a camera. And boy, am I glad I did. But the reason that I was able to do this, and it was a good idea rather than a bad idea, was because I understood the concept of delayed gratification. I understood the concept of having patience. So even if Bitcoin does break to the downside here and does pull back to $8,000, you need to have patience. Even if Bitcoin breaks below $8,000, moves down to $7,000, $6,000, $3,000, you need to have patience. This market is going to be fine. There's no reason to be worried about the fundamentals or the technicals right now. If you're in the market for the right reason and you have patience and you have humility, you're going to be fine. I want to remind you guys of that because I think there's a lot of people that forget that. They forget their patience. They want it now. They start complaining that Bitcoin's moving to the downside, that Bitcoin's trading sideways, and they lack humility. They think that the most important thing in the world is getting their Lamborghini. And don't get me wrong, I think Win Lambo is a hilarious meme. But at the end of the day, I'd rather put 500 grand into rental property than putting 500 grand into a new Aventador, even though I would love to drive around in an Aventador SVGA. I think we all would. So guys, moving forward here, as I've done this face reveal and a lot of new things are going to be coming to the channel, remember patience and humility. They are extremely important. You are not going to succeed if you don't have them. And also remember, guys, to continue your education. Now, I'm not going to hide it. This is a segue into the sales pitch of the first cohort because I do want to show you guys this. I put a lot of time and effort and love into this. I've been talking to you guys about wanting to launch the first cohort for the last about year, and it's finally up. The link is in the description down below. Right now, there's 8 videos in here. One of them is joining the Discord server, so about 7 videos of good content. These videos have taken a lot longer to put together than CT2A videos. I put so much time into each and every single one of these, and I'm looking to put about 5 more of them together in the next week or 2. We're going to be continually adding to this. Guys, what this is, it's a $25 a month subscription-based service where you're going to be getting access to these videos, but also, that's not even the main reason that you might want to join First Cohort. The main reason you might want to join us over here is because of the community that we're trying to build. We have the Discord server, and it's great. There's nearly 2,000 members in there, but a big problem with the Discord server is there's just so many of you guys, and it's hard for me to get a one-on-one interactive relationship with you guys where I'm able to get to know each and every single one of you, your background, your history, your family life, how you got into cryptocurrency. It's hard for me to do that over there on the Discord server. So that's what First Cohort is going to be. It's going to be a private group. It's going to be a paid group where you'll get access to those videos similar to CT2A videos if you're in CT2A. You'll be getting access to me and we'll get to know each other. And also, guys, I'm going to be trying to do about 3 to 4 weekly live streams for only First Cohort members. If you want access to those and you want to be able to do Q&A, I'll do voice chat on the live stream and bring you guys on the private live stream. The link for that is down below. Guys, the reason that we built First Cohort is because I want to be able to flesh out Crypto Jeb. I want to be able to flesh out the business here. I want to be able to expand our team and finish building the studio that I have. This is a several $1,000 studio, but I want to put a lot more work into it. I want to have an awesome background. I want to be able to have an office. I want to hire another employee. I want to grow. I want to grow because I know that I have my heart in the right place, and I want to be able to use the growth here for good. Now that we've done a face reveal, there's going to be more real-life videos, hopefully, of me trying to help people. I want to take the proceeds from First Cohort and build out this business, and after we're bigger and bigger, we can use that money to go and help people. You guys probably know who Mr. Beast is. You know the kind of videos he does? I want to start doing some of those. I want to start helping people and bringing attention to the problems that we have in this world. I have not had an easy life, and as I've done this face reveal, you guys are going to get to know me a little bit more. But understand something, the reason that we're doing First Cohort is so that we can build this business out and so that we can do good in the world. I'm not trying to get rich. You're not going to see me driving around in a Lamborghini anytime soon. I'd much rather invest in my future and in the future of other people than flaunt money. I could go out and buy a brand new car right now, guys, but I drive around in a 2004 Ford Explorer Sport Track because I love that truck, and I'd rather put money into investments. So guys, if you're interested in trading with me and the community that we're trying to build, the link for that is down below. I would love to see you guys join over there. It might be a little slow to get started as people start to join, but if you join, guys, I'm going to give you guys the attention. I'm going to try me and First Cohort for an hour or 2 a day, answering your questions, talking to you, get to know you. So if you're interested, you can consider joining at the link in the description down below. My camera just turned off. I got to get this camera setup fixed, guys. But anyway, we're back to the old style of video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up because this is getting to be about a half an hour long, and hi, Jackie. And I do feel kind of bad for Taylor because she is having to edit this whole thing. But anyway, guys, I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys